aware of our time of creation. I'm a mom of 4 girls. And my whole purpose in my life, I feel, was to become a mom. To share on the past, share on the teachings that my grandmother has instilled in my father, and which my father has instilled in me. And now I have that opportunity and the abilities to instill it into my children. My 3 older girls are going to be 25, 24, and 19. And I've had the blessed gift to give them those teachings that Oak Plant provides. From being at the water, to picking our medicine, to picking our foods, to sharing that spiritual connection to Mother Earth, which Dios and God has created. But I have a 3-year-old now. God bless me one more time. And I don't know if I will be able to teach her those same teachings that have been passed down from generations to generation. I knew when I had my 3 older girls that they would be born into this fight. They would be born into this way of life, fighting for our religion, fighting for our spirituality, fighting to be free as Apache. And not just free as Apache, but free as a human being. But my 3-year-old is in a different fight. She's at a crossroad. Is either the United States government going to allow her to be Apache? Or am I going to have to just share with her memories of what it is to be Apache? She will never be able to pick the chichil, the acorn. She will never to pick the chokosha berries. She will never be able to pick the medicine. Go to the springs where her sister and her cousins have swam or have blessed and gave back to the earth. She will never be able to walk the same path her ancestors have if Oak Flat is destroyed. That is my fight. But in that fight, it's not just only protecting my children, but it's protecting each and every one of you and your families that are sitting here today and those that aren't here. We're at the forefront trying to protect our religion, our spirituality, and our way of life. But as first people of this nation, if they can disregard us, then that means you aren't all protected either. If the earth is going to continue to be destroyed, what water are we all going to drink? What type of air are we going to breathe in? What kind of future do you all have? So me standing here in front of you, I'm standing here to protect all of us. And that's why we're here together, is to create that solution, is to create that family. My father, being an extraordinary man that he is, and the teachings that he has passed down from his great-grandparents to his grandparents, from his mother to his children, is that it takes all of us, where each and every one of us are on our personal journey to a sacred unity, and that's what we're doing here tonight. You came here. Something brought you here. You're on a path of your own spiritual journey, but together, collectively, we're here together, spiritually united. You know, we all heard the Ninth Circuit Court decision. Was it heartbreaking? Yeah. When is it ever going to be in our favor? Because we're not doing this just for indigenous people, we're doing it for all people. But it was close. Creator is listening to all of us. We need to continue to pray, because having that faith, even though how hard it was to hear the decision, the outcome, I look at my children, I look at all of us here tonight, I thought about my grandparents, I thought about my ancestors, and they didn't give up. So that means that we can't give up. That means we need to continue to work together, to pray together, to stand together. Because as it was told by my father, teaching us, was that we as indigenous people were one circle, one drum, one prayer, before this evil had came and touched this earth. We had the respect and the strong connection to our spirituality, no matter where we were at. But now, today, we know it's just not us. And that's why we're asking you all to stand with us, all to pray with us. Because in order to create that circle, it needs everyone. We all need to be that one drum, one prayer, and one circle, as it was in the beginning. Because God created each and every one of you for a reason. You're all here placed on this earth for a reason. And I hope that the part of that reason of your existence is here to fight with us. I'm asking for the continued prayers. I'm asking you to continue to talk to your family, your friends, do your outreach. Because what happens to the Oak Flat issue, what happens in the court system, will affect each and every one of us. A great man once said, his name is Reverend John Mendez, and he said, there might be an issue that affects someone directly, but that means that affects everyone indirectly. So everybody's included in this. You're all going to be affected by this. I don't know how to stress enough the importance of it. But just know that as we stand here together, as we head to make our way towards the Supreme Court, that we do this collectively. You know, go to our website, go to our social media. We have all the information of where you can get a hold of Beckett Fern to join us as amicus brief. Let's do this together, not to stand alone. Be collective in prayer and in strength. And remember that we're all here, and that we're all here for a reason, that there needs to be a balance in this world. Why there's so much chaos is because we as humans have made it that way. My girls' life is at stake. Who they are and who they're going to become. That rest is in everyone's hands. So I need your help. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving this opportunity to come together. And I hope the one thing that you can take from this event is that we are going to be that one drum, that one prayer, that one circle, and that it's going to take all of us to succeed this evil in this world. That evil that lingers, whether it's through the United States of corporation and greed, of the imbalance of this world, but that it takes the spirituality of us to come together to fight and conquer this evil that has been prophesized. And Oak Flat will set that precedence. So thank you. Yeah.
Dr. Leanne Bigworth. Hello everyone, my name is Leanne Bigworth. I'm a member of the Apache Stronghold, and a little emotional here because my sister's real good at that, getting to emotions. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming out and for being here to hear us share some words on the importance of our holy place, Chichilpatakwatao, Oak Flat. And I do want to thank the Southside Presbyterian Church and Carol Rose, and I see so many faces that I've seen before, and I've seen you at Oak Flat, and I just feel really blessed to be here with you once again. And what feels good is I can come here and I can feel welcome. And a lot of places that, we're not welcome everywhere, but when we come here, we feel welcome. And you create that environment, you feed us and you give us the space to share. And we've brought people together because this is an important journey that we're on. Lighting of the fire is very special. And for those of you that have been on this journey with us for years, you know that we're fighting an uphill battle. And in this journey, we're led by prayer, and when I come here, I know that I'm amongst people that pray. And the power of prayer has helped us navigate through this fight and has opened doors when we ran into a brick wall. So to be in your presence makes me feel welcome. And I come here with my family. I have my children here with me. I have my spouse here with me. And my dad and my mom, my sister, my nieces that were here. And it feels good to come here and know that we're safe. Know that we're among people that understand. We were talking the other day about, we had Katie Hobbs come to Oak Flat. And she came, and us women, we took her to a special place for us where we pray. And my daughter, she was there, and she said, we can hear the water. And she was all excited. And I look at the faces of politicians that don't quite get it, right? How do you hear the water? Most people think you don't get your water. But when it's powerful and flowing, it's so loud, you have to talk louder. And when we were there as women to pray, it felt good that who I was speaking to knew exactly what I felt, exactly how it felt, that prayer and that connection with the land. And then I recognized that politicians that just stopped in for a moment didn't get it. But when I'm here with you, and you've been to Oak Flat, and you've spent the night with us, and you've gone through ceremony with us, that you understand what that feeling is. And I really appreciate you, because it's going to take all of us. As my sister mentioned, it's going to take all people. It's not just about my family and our children. It's about your family and your children. Because my kids will inherit this fight. Like my sister said, we've been at this for more than 20 years. And our ancestors before them, right? And we're going uphill, we're fighting this uphill battle where people don't have that connection. They don't quite understand. So when you come here and you listen to what we have to share and to really understand the struggle and the connection and what we can do, I encourage you to bring your children. Because as I teach my kids, they have to understand that balance. Because corporations and mines, they work 24 hours a day, every day. They don't ever turn it off, right? And if we, as prayerful people, we don't stop, then we have a chance and those doors will open. So I truly appreciate that. In our journey to protect Oak Flat, we've come across so many different people. just with this court decision, like I said, we feel like we hit a brick wall sometimes, but there's always that door, because we're making sure that we do this in a spiritual way. It's real easy to be angry and say things, that come off the wrong way, and be angry about the way that things are. But a lot of that is stuff that we can't control. I heard intergenerational historical trauma, right? Well, I work with kids, and I really work hard with the kids in our community to understand the history of our people and understand where the trauma has come from and how it is generational. But it's not just our people. It's all people that suffer from that same sickness. And the way that is taught to me is, before us as Apache people were colonized, it came from across the ocean. Your people were colonized too. That's why we push to know that history, because that's where healing starts. There's a lot of anger and hatred out there. But as we continue to grow and connect and unite in prayer and spirituality, that's where our strength comes. And I feel like I've been trying to reach out to so many people. And what's wonderful is where we go and we come across prayerful people, they open the door just in this way. And we come together in prayer. And, we right now has been so busy. Everybody's been trying to call and come in and, how can we support? How can we help? And it's always, keep us in your prayers, keep us in your prayers. And that's first. Anytime, anything, we always say, pray. That's going to get us over that next hurdle. That's going to help us up this incline that we're facing. Prayer. And people just continue to open doors. We have, tremendous outpouring. We're working on our amicus briefs again, so, that's something that needs to be worked on. Our lawyers, we've been blessed. They'll help with an amicus brief. Friend of the court, those statements, we need those. So if you know people and organizations that haven't done one yet, please, we have contact information and our lawyers will help. There's so much I can say, but I do want to just thank you all for this space, for the energy to come in here and feel welcomed, and feel really positive, and the prayers, because I know you all have been praying with us. On this journey, I look at my dad, and everything that he does and is guided is by prayer. And there's so much that I continue to learn about myself and about this journey, right? It's a spiritual journey. This is everybody's personal spiritual journey. And when I see the journey that he's on and how he doesn't move until, he has a dream or a prayer, and it's helping us through. He's been at Oak Flat. He continues to live there. We have a whole group of people that continue to come and be with us, be with him. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you to the CPT teams that continue to come in. It's wonderful because, they rotate and then I see them again. So it's just creating a bigger family. So I appreciate that so much because we worry about him. And, as a father, he's taught us to be really strong. So, you know, we push that in our children. And I would like my dad to come up and share some words. You know, there's not enough good things I can say about him, but he's probably the best man I know. Thank you.
You know, as a father, it's really hard to listen to your daughter's talk. So you can give her a round of applause. I mean, I say that because they really shouldn't be doing this. You know, it should be our politicians. It should be people who really care about what they're doing, and why they take this leadership. And even with like religious leaders, you know, from all different faiths, you know, we have that responsibility. Not them or not kids, you know. I mean, this is why we put people where they should be, because we believe in them, because of what they say. And I come from that perspective because, you know, I was in tribal leadership for over 30 years. And I learned all the pros and cons about that. But not only that, just being an Apache and being raised in the reservation and seeing what our people went through. And also carrying hate. You know, the old people used to say the worstest people on the face of the earth is the white people. Because, you know, we couldn't understand all this killing and all this taking. And, you know, children dying, elders dying, and no one caring. And they would say, you know, what did I do? What did we do to them to deserve this? So I grew up born in 1959. My mom and dad were born in the 1920s. And they were prisoners of war. My grandfather, my grandmother, my great-grandfather, great-grandmother all came in because of the takeover of this whole area. So I'm first born reservation. My daughters are second born. That's how close it is. So what we say is that we're new and we're old, meaning that we're old to the old ways and we're new to this new way. So I always tell the politicians and everybody else, I'll tell them, don't get angry, but we have the right to evaluate you on what you've done here. So don't get angry, listen, because you're ruining so many different things, you're destroying so many different things. But when I look back, you know, to my family and, you know, where everyone had came from, he was really trying to understand what happened. I could go back to the 1970s and 1980s where our people finally was like so excited and really happy because they kind of found the answer. But in Apache, there's no word for colonization or capitalism. But all their definition related to that. Because the very thing that it did to everybody else, it was doing it to us. And so this is why you hear so many Native people being angry or upset. They have to have an outlet. They say what they need to say to feel better. Believe me, you know, we're all one of them too. But I remember my mother telling me that, son, before they came, were we those kind of people? Did we have anger? Did we hate? She would tell me no. Because before that, we were in sync with what God's creation was until they came. Then that off-centered us because we became somewhat no longer what we should be. So she used to say to me, you have all the right to want to fight them. You have all the right to hate them. You know, you have all the right to do these wrong things that they did to us. But is that us? Is that who we were before they came? She says, no, we were one with God. She goes, let me remind you what the old people used to say. You know, there's a lot of names you can call him, but one of them is cheating, the ghost. But in English, Satan, Lucifer, and other names. But what they say is that he came here already. He came here. But what was happening in this part of the world was native people was in sync. They were all together. One drum, one circle, one prayer. So he could not penetrate what he was doing on the other side of the world. But they say that it made a remark to the people and said, he will be back. So from that point in time, the people waited. But when the new people came from the other side of the world, we didn't know how he was going to get here. I say he. It was going to get here. So from that time, over 500 years ago to the 1980s, it was finally said, hey, it's not them, it's what they brought here and the way they think and the way they believe. So that's when they knew that they were up against something greater, evil, from the beginning. From the beginning. So in the 1980s, for my mother, before she passed, she tells me, son, you're fighting the greatest evil of the world. Because all these people who are here today, they did the same thing on the other side, crying for a better day, praying to God, praying that it would lead them somewhere. But the Spirit brought them here, brought them here to us. So this evil knew. She said, that's why they had to wipe us out. 90% of Native people across this country were killed. 90%. Today, my granddaughter is running around. She has an enrollment number. We are still the ward of the government. We are still prisoners right now. We don't have the same opportunity you have. We don't. None of us can go and have a meeting with Congress and talk to anybody. We have to go through the permission of our tribal government in order to speak. Just like what they do in all the other countries, when they put leaderships and roles so they can have what they want from those countries. It's no different here. I mean, I've been the chairman of the tribe. I've been in the government where the first time I became the chairman, they invited me to Washington. What did they show me? They showed me their judicial system. What did they show me? The power of the politics. So I come home and I tell my mother, and I said, you know what's really crazy? They showed me the Pentagon, they showed me all these places. Why do you do that? And my mother laughed, she said, because you're an Apache. They want you to know that they have the power. They want you to know you can't do nothing. But son, let me take you back to that day when they first came here and we jumped. We lost focus. The one thing they do not have is the power of inside your heart, your spirit. As Indian people, we have to go back to that. As much as you don't like it, they're going to call you names, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to do all these different things. But you have to walk through all that dirtiness to get through. Remember, your fight isn't these little battles. If you really want to fight and help this world, then you have to go after the bigger picture, the big player. And that's who they call Satan. That's who they say. That's your fight. All these other little fights, it don't matter. They don't mean anything. They want you to take a different road so that it not be seen. So if you want people to believe and really help Mother Earth, then you need to show them what's evil. Because they don't understand what's evil. They have to see it. Because the same shackles we have, you have them on too. Just longer. You're used to it. You can put flowers on it. You're used to 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 it We're not. Because we've seen what it's done to us. It's divided us. It made us angry. Nothing is a priority anymore. Our family, our community is all being broken apart. So imagine if I kept you right here, right now, and you can't go nowhere, and I tell you, now you have to live here. You're not going to succeed unless I do at will with you and how I want. That's what happened to the Indian people. That's why we have the problems we have. It all started from that time. So, as my daughters were saying, we have to go back to that critical point of when it started. When it started for you, it was on the other side of the world. Now, it made my job harder because if I'm going to talk to you like this, I better know what I'm talking about, right? So, it took me across the oceans to visit so many people there and listen to so many people and come to the East Coast and listen to so many people, rather if you're white, black, or Asian, to learn. Because now I was sent more on a journey to find out what we're really facing. Now going back to Europe, oh man, I'm glad I went, because you know what? I found white people who were indigenous. White people who are indigenous. They have the same picture clips in the mountain like we do. You can find a Tabamogram, you can find it different places, and it's on the Alps. Tells you one spirit, tells you one God. It tells you. And then to take me to where they were crucified, to leave the old ways that God had taught, because they didn't convert. I went to the places where blood rolled down by thousands and thousands of people. When I went into Italy, organizers, that's kind of a tough word, because they control things too. And when I had these indigenous Italians wanted to come sing for me and play music, they were being shoved all over the place. And I asked, hey, wait, what's going on? Oh, they're not Christians. They don't believe in God. Oh, Jesus, we don't want them here. But I stopped because, I don't know if you guys, but I grew up in a time when Hercules was a movie. Boy, that music sounds good. So they were actually playing that music. And I said, hey, wait. Man, let these guys play. So when they were given the mic, they told the crowd that this is the way we welcome people. Not like this, the way you're welcoming him here. Because he comes from the other side of the world. We're supposed to respect him. And to hear that music of an ancient song, you know, it really touched. It really touched us. So I had the opportunity to speak. And of course, it was like about 4,000 people I spoke to. Of course, they were upset. But I'll never forget the little old lady. She got up in front of everybody. She put a medallion over my neck. And she said to me, this is an ugly world. You're here on our side. We need to protect you from what's evil. Because the old evil started here. It's in your country now. But while you're here, this medallion will protect you. Then she turned to the crowd and said to the crowd, we're never going to get anywhere unless the first people of America teaches us. Because we lost so much. But it hurts my heart to know that we almost killed them all. But we're blessed. We're blessed tonight. And I'll never forget those teachings, not only from her, but so many people. And then going east and spending my time in the Eastern Coast with so many people, and again speaking to a major university, and several men stopping me and wanting to talk to me. And what they said was that, Mr. Nosey, we lost you in your speech, but we lost you at the word ancestors. Then I said, well, I'm speaking the English language. How did I lose you? I said, I'm not even speaking mine. Then they said, no, ancestors. We can't go back as far as you can. Because remember, there was a lot of us white people that were stripped from who we were, where we came from. We were told to be an American. And we agree with you. It's an illusion. It's an illusion because we were forbidden to be who we could be. It's really sad to say it, but I'm glad you're bringing it out of us because we need to know who we are. Because you are right. Because our bloodline ties us to the root of Mother Earth. Exactly what you're saying. We want to heal too. Then in the town of Globe, a friend of mine, Winsler, don't be so upset about the white people. Because a lot of white people who came from back east are dead in these mountains too. From Mercury. Our people did it to our own people. So, we're with you in this fight. The reason why I tell you that is because, like my daughters were saying, this battle that we're in is your fight too. It's not just our fight. It's your fight. My mother told me of a time that one day the last fight will be when humanity, morals, belief in God is going to clash one more time. We're all being judged. So she tells me, son, your job is to go out there and find these people. Your job is to tell them. And I'm like, as a young man back then, I'm like, oh man, I thought I was just going to fight this. I didn't have to go talk to everybody. And she goes, that's the big mistake we all make when you do that. You have to go. And so I'm not very well with the Bible, but I tell them, I said, it sounds like the Sodom and Gomorrah story. When go into the city and save as much as you can before it's destroyed. It really feels like we're in that time that we have to save everything, or else it's going to be over. Because we're damaging what God created. Mother Earth is a great gift to all of us. It's a blessing to all of us. Not just Native people, all of us. So I tell my Native brothers and sisters that I'm not going to be stupid and pull that last prayer arrow and shoot evil and say, yeah, we won. No, Native people ain't going to do it. It's going to take all of us. Now I understand my mother because she said to me, you have to go find the mistakes they make. Because evil is a moving target. But all these people who encountered evil first, she goes, what that means is that you have to bring all your prayers together, everybody holding it, and we all letting it go. Because we only got one left. That's why this journey is going to take you out there. So when I look at the Apache Stronghold, we have to call it by an English name, but it's really just people who pray, believe in God, believe in Mother Earth. That's all it is. The people who pray, the people who stand together to protect God's greatest gift. That's who we are. That's what we're made of. So many people coming together to protect what's left. Because if we don't, it's over. I mean, let's be honest. Because everything they're taking right now in this country, there's no more. There's not enough. Talking about Oak Flats. environmental laws, total exemptions were given. And I tell smart people, come on. I shouldn't even break that down for you, what that means. And to foreign mining companies. And don't tell me we're that dumb when they say, we just need 25% and 75% is going to Asia. I mean, come on, America. Come on. I'd rather say people, because by people we may understand this, but being an American, we don't understand it. We forfeit everything. Everything about life is what we forfeit. Now, when I look around the crowd, except for the young ones, we already live. Our decisions today should be for our children and those yet to be born. That's the decision that we should be making now. Now, I got a chance because CPT is helping me out with the class, so I get a chance to come back and do some work. But listening to the news, I said, man, how dumb can all these people talk? I said, it's like they wear they're size 9, they're trying to fit a size 5. Everybody you listen to, how stupid it is. And I'm hoping that all Americans are like that. Because we can't be. You know, and what they say is that there's going to be a point in time that it's going to catch up. And it feels like it caught up. Meaning that when you live a lie, it'll catch up with you no matter what. We're in that time. So when I go back to the old people, and I go back to some of the tribes, and they say to me, how come you guys coming out now? Why didn't the Apaches come out a long time ago? Why now? And what I tell them is that I was told, wait. So Father, wait. Because when this country cries, it's time. So where we have been, this country is in chaos. So that means that our minds and our hearts is open right now to hear the truth and do the right thing and take control so that we can save Mother Earth. That's the time you're born in that moment right now. You cannot deny what God created. This is where we are. I spoke in a church in Preston. There were like about 300 people in that church. So I stood there, and I know the preacher was really worried. And I said, you know, today is Sunday, and I feel kind of sad because it's pretty packed in here. And, you know, of course, they're kind of funny by saying that. I said, it's pretty packed in here. Because if I was your preacher, I would have loved to see somewhat of an empty church. Because I would have known you're out there doing God's work. Don't think coming here every Sunday is going to save you. If you came to me the next day and said, oh, Pastor, I had to go do this, I was praying for this family, and I was taking care of this family, man, that's the best excuse. But if I'm seeing the same people every Sunday, I said, that's got to worry me. Because I've been telling you, you know, God's words, what it is. I said, that's where we should be, because like what we see these people doing in the stronghold or any kind of movement, the holy ones, the medicine people, the elders are happy. Because they're out there reaching out. They're doing something. So, for us, as we come to the one circle, we have to get there. The one drum, meaning all the musics and songs that we sing about God and His creation, that's critical now. And the one prayer, all of us praying together. Because remember, you're fighting the greatest evil. That's who you're fighting. So, before my mother left this world, I asked her, Mom, you know, we talk a lot about this evil. And I know you tell me that as a human, that I have to come 50% and God comes, Yosef, God comes the other 50%. He's not going to give it to us all the time. Because He put us in this world. I said, I know you tell me that. I said, you know, but I worry. I worry. And she looked at me, and I'll never forget what she said. She goes, son, it's not about just Apache people. It's about all Native people and all people. But us Indian people, we touch what was ugly. Now we're dirty too. I don't care what anybody says, but because we touch it, we're dirty too. That means that there's more things that we have to do when we pray. That means we have to go deeper inside. Because on top of the world, on top of the Mother Earth, we kill a lot of spiritual movements. The way the angels move. By just what we do to Mother Earth, we kill them. The only other way is they travel underneath the earth. She says, by now, they got these big machines and they're digging in there. They're trying to disconnect everything of what spirituality is. Wherever this evil started a long time ago, it hates what God created. It hates this great gift that we have. But the sad thing about it, son, she goes, it's using us to kill. It's using us to kill the very thing that God created. So she says, the evil that you're talking about, the evil that people portray, put it here, put it there, over here, blame that person, blame this, blame that, over there. She said the real evil is right inside you. We create. It's like a moving vehicle. One is good and one is bad. As long as we keep driving the bad evil car, we create it. When are we going to start doing this again? So you have to show the people that that evil lives in us. We create it. We make it. But this way of life has hit it. It makes us blame somewhere else. And we don't see it in us. So imagine if 5 of you were sitting together and you were doing something wrong, but one stood up and said, hey, this is wrong. Then it creates a new discussion about their judgment. And it was funny, the other night, all over the news, I heard the ex-vice president say, I'm not going to endorse Trump. And man, that came all over the world. His former vice president just said, I'm not going to endorse him. And how quick and how fast that traveled. So that's what she was referring to when we start doing the right thing. So when I come back to places like Oak Flats and all these fights that are going on all over the country, if only our politicians and our leaders would make the right decision to stand up to it, then it'd be all done and over with. Right decisions would be made. But they also asked me, hey, this new green energy, how come you guys are opposing it? I said, man, it's kind of like Coke. And we all drink Coke and we get diabetic. We become diabetic, then they make Diet Coke. I said, you're going back to the same predator. You can't tell me they're going to make it better. You can't. You can't tell me that. Experience it. We have to know what we're doing. On that part, I want to leave you with, when I was having lunch in the Mexican restaurant in Globe, normally my family order for me, you know, because I don't order, my kids do it. Ask the hot sauce. I said, gotta have the hot sauce. So anyway, I stopped and I had the hot sauce. But in the meantime, I had Resolution Copper come in. And there were some people I never recognized before. But one of the guys was telling me who I was. So of course one of them walked up to me when I was sitting and said to me, so you're Wensler Nosey, the person that's stopping real loud so the whole restaurant could hear. So you're Wensler Nosey stopping the future. Told everybody how much money the state was going to make, how much the county was going to make, all the jobs it was bringing. Talked about AI, future of the green energy for vehicles. So he tells everybody, so this is the guy. So, you know, I told him, well, let me stand up. I said, so I stood up and looked at him. At that point, I just turned around and I looked at all, say you guys were the ones in the restaurant, I looked at all of you guys and said, he's talking about you. He's talking about all of you people in here. He's telling you that your greed is going to stop. Because he knows that he's desecrating. He knows that he's ruining the earth. But because of you wanting and wanting and wanting and wanting, he's not going to stop. He's never going to blame himself. He's going to blame you. Think about that. So I turned around to him and said, hey, thank you for telling them what you think. So he walked out. They walked out, got up from their table and walked out. I'm proud to say that when I went up to pay, the lady told me, hey, 3 people came up here to pay for you. So wow. Said, oh, okay, they get it, you know, they get it, which was good because everything is an analogy. Everything is dissected. So I know for me standing up here, you're listening to your great-great-great-great-grandfather who went through the same thing, who argued the same issue, but couldn't do that child from that family. You can do something. You can make a difference. They didn't have much choice in Europe at all. In a lot of these countries. I was told from the South Americans, when they heard me talk, they said, oh, we're so happy. And I said, I'm happy laying with the predator. And I said, really? They go, yeah, because you Indian people never say nothing. You're never standing up to what's happening. They said, but we're really happy today to hear you speak. Because you know, Mr. Nosy, it's like a subdivision. Houses, houses, houses. But there's one place that has a bunch of dogs, drunk people, everybody yelling and screaming at each other, them shooting their guns. And what do you tell your kids? Don't go near that house, go around, right? They said, well, that's America. Just know you're not going to fight the military, you're going to fight all the people. Because they all have guns and they're all high. And I think they were referring to sugar and beer. Because we're high in sugar too. We're not thinking right. So it was really an interesting discussion I had with them. But the point was that they're happy because of this fight that we're in. They see so many changes coming. But you know what? I got to go back and say to you, we're not going to win this without you. Sure, there's a lot of little fights that are being won. But the big fight is what they want. Now let me end going into the court case. Most of you have seen what we had stuck out, that we're going to the Supreme Court on April 15th. So the timeline has changed. So some of you who may not know, the timeline has changed. And the reason why we didn't put it out there right away, because you know, I'm fighting the United States, Rio Tinto, and BHP. So there's no way the stronghold is going to be putting out strategies, right? In Indian country, we all seem to swing second. But what I said was, no more. We're going to start swinging first. Because all these years, even my people, my tribe, we always counter-punch. But now we're going to start hitting. Because it's not right. We have to stand for our people and all the people of this country and even around the world. We're going to hit. So now, Resolution Copper in the United States are jumping like crazy right now because I'm going to file on the 15th. So those of you who want to file with me in this amicus brief, you have the opportunity now to spread the word or yourself to join the case. Now let me tell you what. I have a woman from Superior who'd seen things before I showed up. Because you got to remember, we were exiled out of our sacred land. And this lady would talk to me, tell me, and knew I was coming and seen things. So when we did our statements on the EIS, I turned to her and said, you've been speaking to our angels. You should write a statement. So she did. Turn in the whole statements to the United States government. Just that funny feeling, we got everything back. Went through it twice. Finally looked at it and looked through the personal statements, and they pulled hers. So of course, having a meeting with Tonto National Forest with their attorneys, I asked them, why was hers pulled? The response from the United States was, she's a white lady. And I said, okay, let me ask you again. Why was her statement pulled? And then the same response, because she's a white lady. And I said, I know she's a white lady. Why was it pulled? The response from the United States was that the only one that can have a spiritual claim and connection from the earth to heaven is the native people of this country. And I said, wait, say that to me again. I want to know I'm not, make sure I'm understanding. The only ones that can claim a native spiritual connection is the native people. So I said, okay, you mean white people, black people, Asians, and everybody else who came on the other side not claim a spiritual connection to God here? The answer was yes. And I go, wow. Does the American people know that? I said, they call this home. Do they know that they cannot claim any kind of spiritual happening between God and the spirits? I said, no wonder they can't help us. No wonder you can't help us. Because they've never recognized that for you since your great ancestors came here. And I said, wow. So we turn all our kids to the schools into a corporate education. And then the universities tell me they're upset because now they know about the old flat fight, is that our top students are taken by corporations right when they finish. So I mentioned that to the Tonto National Forest. I said, do you ever plan to tell them? But it did come out in our court hearing. And it is in some of the documents that you have to really read thoroughly through it. Now, for me, I have no right to tell you if you have or you don't. That's not my place. And if I do, I'm doing somebody else's work that I shouldn't do. To me, your children are no different than ours. But in this country, it looks at it differently. And I love Carol for all the things that she's trying to do, but it makes it hard for religious groups to stand and fight. She can tell you, they told her, we can close it for the Apaches, but we can't close it for you. If she wanted to have a religious activity there. Nowhere is free. So we have to wake up to what is capitalism. Because that's the very thing that is destroying what God gave us. We have to start waking up to it. And know that it's a spiritual fight. It's a fight that we go deep, way back. I went to go pray in Washington, D.C. where we put our stones. I asked 6 reverends to come from the East Coast. I told them, bring something very old. So they all brought something very old. So as we're getting ready to pray, I said, okay, what'd you bring? So they all showed me their cross. I looked at them and I said, that's not old. Then of course, preacher was looking at, their cross. I said, evil came before that. And evil only knows what is old. So I said, put it back. I broke roots and gave them old roots to pray with. I said, now the evil knows that you know that it's here. I said, I'm not desecrating that. I'm just saying you got to know who you're fighting. Then you'll find answers and solutions to it. So my granddaughter, at the end when we were done, my granddaughter was with me, and she tells them, if you don't know what's old, she picked up a rock and said, this is old. I don't think they ever forgot that, because I seen a picture of one of them carrying a rock now. They made me happy because they know what is old now. Because as Apaches, we go back to that. Because that's the very thing he felt in the very beginning when he came here. But he also felt that in the beginning and the other side of the world as well too. So that's why we have to come together, one drum, one circle, one prayer. And I wanted to tell you that. That includes you in the fight in this spiritual way. That includes you in the fight in the environmental impacts that are going to happen. That includes you in the fight when it comes to the political side of things, because they exempt these companies. Right now in Arizona, these mining companies are waiting for this case to be over so that they're in line for the exemptions. And what they say is that as soon as this dam breaks, how are we going to stop it? Because the politicians are going to do what they need to do because they gave exemptions to foreign companies. So people, we got to wake up. You are in every category of this fight. You're in it. Like we are. That's why it's not only our fight. But before we do anything, we do it spiritually. We have a fire going. Everybody has a prophecy. In the one I was brought up in, and I never thought to be standing here today. I never thought there'd be a fire burning behind me. I never thought I would be in an audience like this. But it's scary because it takes me back to those people who are no longer here. Because what they said was that in order to shake this evil behind a tree, you're going to have to wake them up. But you're going to have to let them know you're coming. So the fire tonight is lit because we are on our way to the Supreme Court. We don't know what's going to happen. We know we're going to be a big target. But we know that it's going to take prayers. It's going to take belief in what God created and what He's blessed us with. So a fire is a big part. There are going to be people lighting fires across this country on March 30th. We are headed to Los Angeles to the Wistoyo. Is that right, man? Wistoyo? The tribe there is getting ready for our arrival. And many tribes are coming in, as well as many different denominations are coming to light the fire Friday night, midnight, as soon as we go into Saturday. And that fire will burn throughout Saturday until the new day, Sunday. Because we're coming. I'm not here to play around with the little things. I'm here to fight what created all of this. We can talk about this problem, that problem, this problem, that problem, but we never go to the source of where it started from. Then how you expect to get there to heal? My mother used to say, in this country that we live in today, there's so many people from so many different parts of the world that lives here today. She says, why do you think that? It's because something guided them here. Something, meaning the Spirit, brought them here. If this place can do it right, everybody around the world will listen. All the tensions will drop. But this old way has to come back to the forefront and help. And that's our job. And that's why we have to go and do what we need to do. That's the only way. So the fire that's lit here tonight is for you. Because those of you who believe in the system and grew up in the system, you know, your faith might be in the system. Ours is not. We have no faith in the system. What we have faith is what God gave us right here. That we don't want it to ever be taken away from us. But the fire is a big part of prayer. Because tonight, and I hope I didn't put anybody on the spot, but tonight, the fire that lit tonight is telling everything and everywhere, we're coming. We're coming. And how cool is that to be a part of that? When it's about God. Right? Mother Earth. And I want to thank Dwight for bringing the wood all the way from the Chiricahuas. That's Chiricahua wood burning. Right there. Ancient place, old place. Burning right there. Because we have to start in that way. Now I look forward to move on to LA to meet with all my brothers and sisters on the West Coast. And to see everybody across the country light their fire for everything that's happening all over the world. But we're letting the oldest evil know that we're coming. And I hope that you're there with me in prayer, or however you do it. Because as we say, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us to do this. Not just one tribe or tribes or one race or view, depending on the judicial system, the government, the economic system. That is not going to work. Because they're already embedded themselves in so many places. Organizations that support us didn't know that it's tied up into their 401ks, into their health care. A lot of people step forward, a lot of people step back. Because they didn't know it was in their 401ks. So this evil has already given you a piece to eat. So now we have to fight it together. You know, enough is enough. We need to be satisfied and preserve all these important things. Like places like Oak Flats, a female, where you could be born and you can die there of old age. An abundance of food, water, animals. It's going to die. Well, not die, but it's going to be murdered. So people, we have to wake up. And like I think one of my daughters said, I'm happy to be here tonight because this is where it kicks off. The fire was lit. Prayers were made. And now they know we're coming. This place is blessed. For a reason it brought us here. For a reason you're here. There's a reason why you're here. Now it's going to be what you want to do with it. Can't say God never put you in a place to be a part of healing what He created. You're a part of it. So you either walk away and not do anything, or you do something. But as long as you pray, as long as you keep praying, because that's the stronghold. We're not very big, Carol can tell you that, but we're very big in prayer. We're very big with people coming together and praying from all over. I'd rather have that, because that's where we'll find many answers from. Many solutions will come from that. So I guess the last thing I want to say to you is that we can't do without you. My mother used to use the example of one of my daughters, who was one of the top 2 runners in the state of Arizona. But the team she ran with, they never placed, except her. And you know, you love people with their examples. And she would say to me, you know, I see my granddaughter run. She's always practicing. In the morning I see her running. In the evening I see her running. And she doesn't even catch the bus. She's carrying her books in the bag and she's running to school. Then when she runs, nobody can beat her. But the other girls, if they would just try harder, work harder like her, then they would win. So I'm listening to advice and she turns to me and she says, I'm talking about you. She says, you are where you should be, like Angel. The other ones need to be with you if you're going to win. So never feel bad, because if they're not there, that wasn't your fault. They should be there too. So the stronghold, we're beyond organizations, we're beyond like trying to create this, trying to create that, or be involved with that, be involved with this. No, the train to jump on. Believe me, I've been a chairman I've been in government for a lot of years. I'm 65 this year. And I'm like, no, it's already moved. You got to get on the train, run after it. If you want to sit there and try to learn, it's too late. You have to jump on and learn, just like so many of you have. And I thank you for that, because you have jumped on. Now you see where it's taking you. It's a blessing, because we don't have enough time. So, again, we are going to be filing on the 15th. I'll be leaving, and it's either going to be done electronically or the attorneys will show up. They'll be in San Francisco on the 15th, so the morning of the 15th, before 8 o'clock, I'll be sitting outside the courthouse waiting. So if it's electronically done, I'm going to wait for my attorneys to say, Winsler, it's done, they took it. Then I'll make my way home. That's where I will be on the 15th. Because in something like this, you have to guide it spiritually. So on the 15th, anybody would like to join me, you're more than welcome. Then we wait. But with all these amicus briefs that are coming in, it looks really good right now. But we have a lot of work ahead of us. We have a lot of different religious groups joining, we have organizations joining, and we have some tribes, governments. Now, we got support from tribal people, but governments is a little different story. But we do have a few from there that are going to be joining the fight. So, however you may fit, I have Najoni, my granddaughter Najoni here. There she is. She will be taking anybody's name, or if you want to be in contact with the attorney, she'll be the person working with you in between. So before we leave, if you're interested, She can get you connected. You can talk to our attorneys directly, and they will help you through it. So if you're interested, well, I'll be going around. I'll be saying the same thing in Los Angeles on the 30th, but it's all over the country right now, and it's great. We even have some European countries that want to join the fight, how they can do it, because they're having trouble with Rio Tinto and how they're destroying all over their country too as well. So again, that's the Joni. She'll take that from you. So again, like I said, the fire starts here tonight. The blessings, we'll pray, and then from there we move on to LA for the 30th to start the big fire for all over the country. And then on the 15th, as I said, we'll be dropping our lawsuit in San Francisco. So it may be done electronically or it may be done in person. Back home, I'll be going back home to have ceremonies with our medicine people and them leading the way in prayer as well. Because again, this is a fight against what's evil. And for us, that's all we have left. That's all, I guess all of us, that's all we have left. And it's going to be important. So that's the outline. Am I missing anything? Okay, so that's the outline right now. We have some other things, but we'd rather keep that out. But we're in a fight. We're in a fight with the United States of two major companies that we just can't be telling everybody what we're doing. People are making a lot of money for information that they can get from us. Like I think Vanessa and Dan said, I want to thank the CPT people. Where you at? I got two of them here. You can raise your hand. These are my security. Now I have to have security. And so they more or less follow me everywhere I go. I want to thank them, keep them in prayer. Well, what's good is that they said they won't take the first bullet. They just knocked me down to the ground. So, I'm good with that. I don't want nobody getting hurt. And as you know, when the ruling came out, when the Ninth Circuit Court made their ruling 65, what we got to understand is 65 is great. If we just had one more judge term, it would have been 6-5 the other way. So it would have been the United States and the two foreign mining companies going to the Supreme Court, not us. But getting us to this level is awesome, because now Indian country, as far as religion for everybody, those voices will be at the door of the Supreme Court. So know that we're speaking for everybody. Our case isn't about us, it's about everybody. Everything. There's two cases, major cases in the United States, the San Francisco Peaks, and also Ling. Ling is the case that is hurting us. Ling is the one that has hurt this religious ties to the earth. So what I'm really excited to tell you that after the court hearings discussion, we just jumped past the San Francisco case. And now we're going to hit head on to the Ling case. That's what we're fighting. So if any of you want to go and Google it and check it out. So it's a big, big case. If we win this case, there'll be a lot of healing in this country for what they've done. So it's an exciting time to be a part of. One thing about the stronghold is we chase nobody away. If you want to be involved and help, the door is there. Because I tell my family that when are we going to ever have this kind of experience again? Well, you can get this experience, and if it comes down again somewhere, you know how to help. You'll know what to do. You're ready. We have to be ready. Can't trust politicians. I mean, I wish we could. I'm not saying all of them, but it's just a tough act when you have to deal with a lot of lies, untruth. The only time they talk the truth is when they're high. I spent enough time in Washington when I walked around with a lot of them and them telling me, Mr. Nosey, we agree with you, we're behind you 100%, but, and you hear that but, like, all right, that's it. But, they tell the truth when they're high. So if they're around you, get them high. And just know they're just not going to keep it afterwards. So, but anyway, those have been my experience with them. But again, I guess coming to a close here, God, I want to thank all of you. You know, it's like my daughter said, some of you, I've seen you, you know, your faces, you know, you've been real supportive. I hate to say it, but, you know, reach a little bit deeper, see what you can do. Know that this fight is, you know, for all of us. And, but tonight again, you know, the fire is here for us. It starts this journey for us. And I'm just happy to come here, you know, on the Autumn land here, just the tremendous support we have from them, from the people who really are working hard. It's awesome, you know, seeing all these historical things happening. Tribes coming together where it was never before. Tribes with non-natives coming together like it was never before. Religious groups coming together like never before. And I'm so excited. Just know that if you are a part of religion, you remember, you have the Constitution of the United States that protects you. We need your help, because that Constitution doesn't protect us. So when you stand with us, based on the Constitution of the United States, it means a lot. Because the very ones they did it for to protect, now is saying, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong. It's a part of healing for what this country and how this country was taken away. It's a part of healing for everybody. So just know that, you know, you would be a big part of that. Other than that, I think I will end there. But again, I'm just so happy to see all of you and all of you make your journey here, to be here with us tonight. But really, you know, other than just listening to us, it's really the fire tonight that we wanted it to burn and bless us and take us on this journey. My mother used to say that you know, 4 gifts were given in the beginning of time, and the 4 gifts, one was water. And she would say the African people know the prayer of water that was given to them. And then she would say the wind was the Asian people. That was a gift given to them about how they could take care of Mother Earth. And then the Indian people, of course, was giving us how to take care of Mother Earth and know it. And that was our gift. She says, but the white people, they were given the gift of fire. You know, they were given the gift. So know that when you are around white people, that was the first gift that God gave them. But they did say that we would abuse, somewhere we would abuse the gifts that God gave us. And so they always tease and they say, when you see what the white people do, they always do things with fire. Spark of a gun, you know, lights, and all these other things. That's their gift. But they let it get out of hand. They don't know that that's a gift. And so, again, you know, the fire represents so many different things, but just know that that was a gift of prayer. You know, you could see things. You could hear things. You know, and those things come to you in a dream. It talks to you, just like Mother Earth talks to us. So it's like that for everybody, you know. So just know that you have these precious gifts that God gave in the very beginning. And, but again, just about the fire. So I know that before you leave, we have cedar. So we're just going to ask people who want to drop cedar in the fire, a blessing for you, a blessing for Mother Earth, and a blessing for this journey and this battle that we're in, all of us. And I'm not forcing anybody, you know, you don't have to do it, but that's what the fire is set up here for you. And so I guess I will end there, and I'm really thankful. Thank you for the food. Thank you, it was good. And, appreciate it. Give it us for the cooks. Again, thank you so much. So I'm going to turn it back over to Carol. But again, when we're done, we like to have people come over here to the fire